So you are a beginner at TFT, or maybe you're a returning player after a very long break, but you just watched the Set 9 trailer and actually you are hooked to play this fantastic game. But the thing is, you already know the rules of the game and you already know how to play this game. However, you're still facing some trouble because you don't know exactly how to start playing the game, with which comp or which early game you should start in order to have a great experience. Just like someone who read the book How to Approach a Girl, but doesn't really know how to pick a girl after that. No, I'm not talking by experience. I guarantee you, stop thinking that way. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 beginner-friendly comps that will help you learn the game faster. Remember that these comps are not necessarily the best comps of the meta, but they are designed to make you learn the game the fastest way possible so you can rank fast and have a lot of fun. Because with this comp, you learn a lot of fundamentals of TFT, such as managing your economy, leveling it up at the right moment, making easy but powerful transitions, and so on. So buckle up because there will be a lot of information, but don't worry because this is going to help you achieve your first victory on TFT. So let's start away with Lux and Demacia. So you want to play with 7 Demacia. In case you don't know, 7 Demacia allows your team to have 3 elites. You will easily spot them because they'll have a little crown on them. And these elites actually are very important characters because they will earn 1 radiant emblem at the beginning of the fight, and they will also grant good defenses around them. So this comp revolves around 3 elites because you play 7 Demacia: Jarvan, Kerl, and Lux. Also, this is very important to keep them with only 2 items. Don't try to put another item because if you do this, they will not receive a radiant emblem and so they will not be able to be elites. So the strategy to play this comp from the beginning to the late game is very easy to follow and actually will help you to understand the game at deeper levels the more you play it. And I'm going to explain this. You will see it's very easy. So during the early game, you want to play kind of aggressively. You want to play strongboard. So I'm going to describe the fast ace strategy. I'm not going too deep with this because I think this deserves an entire video. But I will explain you the key points that you want to follow to make sure that you are on a good track and you will be able to gain an advantage, an economic advantage over your opponents just by better managing your econ. So to play this comp at stage 2-1, you want to push level 4, and at stage 2-5, you want to push level 5. This way, you can have a board with 5 units pretty early and have a lot of power on your board to win against their opponents. And in case you don't know, the more you win against players, the more you earn gold, up to 4 gold per turn, because you have 1 gold if you win against someone and 3 gold of win streak. So you want to play with 3 Demacia, and this, you will see, it's very straightforward. You play 3 Demacia, then 5, then 7. You want to play around Poppy, Galio, and Kerl. Poppy will be your main tank, so you'll put the defensive items on her, and Kerl will be your main carry, so you put the offensive items on her. Then after, you only want to add synergies, because you add Maokai that gives Bastion to make your Poppy even tankier, and then after you add Shadow Isle because you have Maokai, so that way you have a very good synergy. Then after, at stage 3-2, you want to push level 6 at stage 3-2, and you want to add Z. Z allows you to unlock Slayer for Kerl and also Rogue for Viego. It's a very good unit to have, but you don't want to spend too much gold there. You don't want to refresh your shop to have other units. In fact, you want to get your gold up to 50 gold to maximize your interest per turn. So that way you can literally double your income by doing so every turn. And once you have stacked up your gold for multiple rounds, you should be able to have enough gold to be able to push level 7 at stage 4-1. At stage 4-1, you want to push level 7 because this is the moment when you want to make your very strong mid-game comp. It's important for you to survive this because this is a moment when if you lose fights, you start to lose a lot of health. So at level 7, you want to use your remaining gold to find 1 Jarvan. This way you can activate 5 Demacia. You can also activate 5 Demacia with Lux. So if you find Lux, do it. This is just an example with Jarvan. What's really important is if you don't fight Jarvan, then you keep your items on Poppy, the defensive items, and if you don't find Lux, you start stuffing Soraka as your item holder for Lux that you will find later. So this is how you actually create a transition. And I think this comp is very nice for you because it allows you to understand how to transition without having too much of complexity of transitioning. This is a great first step, honestly. And I think you will learn very fast with this comp. Once you have this at level 7, you don't need to look for 2-star Jarvan unless you're lucky and you find it. Same with Lux. You want to get back your gold at 50, stack up some interest for multiple rounds, and then push level 8. Usually we do that at stage 5-2, 5-1, depend on how much you manage to optimize your gold. And then after, at this moment, you want to find Lux 2, Jarvan 2, and then once you find them, you save your gold and you push level 9 to have the power spike with Kale, and also you add another unit like Cassante. And now let's talk about how you can get these guides for free thanks to the sponsor of this channel, Tactor. Tactor is a platform where players like myself write guides to help you learn TFT faster. You can find new guides every single day, so you will continuously be updated with the meta. Also, each guide has specific sections to learn about different transitions from early to late game, the best augments and the best legends. These details will make the difference in making you master these comps. You can also join the Discord and interact with the fantastic community to ask questions or even to become a writer. Thank you Tactor for sponsoring my channel. So the second comp, it's around 7 Shurima. There's a little bug here, it should be written 7 Shurima. This comp can be also extremely powerful. Here is the most optimized version if you can find the Shurima emblem, but if you can't find it, it's fine. It's still very strong. You have to remove Shen and you play Talia to really unlock the 7 Shurima. In case you don't know, Shurima allows your team to heal every 4 seconds, but I think what's really important here is like your whole Shurima units, all of them, will ascend at the beginning of the fight and they will earn a lot of health and attack speed. Your main carry here is Azir and your main tank is Nasus. You will see the game plan is very similar to Demacia Lux, so I'm not going to spend too much time just giving the key points. At stage 2-1 you want to push level 4, stage 2-5 you want to push level 5, you want to play around 3 Shurima with Renekton and Cassiopeia and add a few synergies that very strengthen your team. Then after you want to push level 6 at stage 3-2, you want to add 1 unit, it could be Teemo, it could be Sona to add multicaster, and honestly add anything you find without spending much money because again you want to save your gold, get to 50 gold, and then push level 7 at stage 4-1, where here you will have to sell your Renekton. Once you find Nasus, to be able to put the items on Nasus, you will have to sell your Cassiopeia to put the items on Azir once you find it, and then after you have to buy again Cassiopeia and Renekton to activate the 5 Shurima. You want to play with some strategists and multicasters because they are really good in the mid game, and once you have them, at least 1 star, you don't need to look for 2-star units because it might be a bit hard. You want to save your gold, you want to push level 8, and then after at level 8 you add the 7 Shurima, and then you play around 2-star Azir and 2-star Nasus. And if you're really strong with a lot of gold, with a lot of health, you can even push level 9 and get this kind of ball with Cassante. The third comp is the same strategy with different champions. Here is Aphelios. I think Aphelios has insane DPS. I think in this comp might be actually one of the best comp if the game is balanced properly. So this is a screenshot of the comp. You can see like I completely destroyed the game. I have 89 HP, 14 win streak. Like this is just insane if it's played correctly. So here the idea is to play around Aphelios as your hyper carry and everything else will buy you time or make Aphelios deal more damage. The strategy will be very similar. At 2-1 you want to play around 2 Deadeye. Jhin will be the item holder for Aphelios. Irelia will be the item holder for your tank. And you want to play around this synergy, so that's why you add Ionia, Challenger, Juggernaut and Deadeye. Then you want to push level 6 at stage 3-2. You want to add 1 more unit. Can be anything. Here you can think of Lissandra to activate Freljord. If you don't find Lissandra, it's fine. Don't refresh your shop too much unless you need to strengthen your board and find 2-star units, because anyway you want to get your gold at 50 gold, get a couple of rounds where you can stack these interests so you can push level 7 and start your transition where you will try to find 1 Aphelios. Once you find it, you can put on the board, put the items on it like Infinity Edge, Renance Hurricane and Ginzu. Then after you want to find 1 Urgot and 1 Sejuani ideally. That way you can have this comp which is already very powerful, and then once you have this you should be able to win fight, save HP, so you should be able to reach 50 gold again, push level 8, and go for this late game comp, where you will try to find 2-star Sejuani, 2-star Aphelios, 2-star Ugot. If you find Cyan 2 is best, but most of the time you find maybe 1 Cyan, and then you have to push level 9 to find Cyan 2. Okay, this is another comp with a different strategy. This actually is player with Kled reroll. So whenever we talk about reroll, it means that you will have to play low cost units, 1 cost, 2 cost, sometimes 3 cost, and you have to try to make them 3 stars. So it means that you need to find 9 copies of these units, which is a lot, and that's why you have to roll or refresh the shop. That's the same thing. Since you do that a lot, we call that rerolling, to give you a bit of context. So this comp is very fun because thanks to Yordle, that allows one of your Yordle to become a 4-star unit. If you have at least 3 units which are 3 stars, you can actually create a real Slayer monster that is called Kled. So to give you some context, as you can see here, I have Poppy 3, I have Gale 3, so my Kled, even if it's a bit hidden here, it's a 4-star unit and it has incredible amount of damage. Since it's a different strategy, here you will have to spend a lot of gold refreshing your shop and buying the units, so it means that you have to maximize your income as much as you can. And for this, you will actually trade your HP to get more gold. And the only way to do so is to actually lose on purpose. So during the stage 2, you will face 5 players and you'll try to lose all of them. Because thanks to that, you will not have a win streak, but you will have a loss streak that can give to you up to 3 gold per turn. Also, you will buy only units that are relevant to you, such as Poppy, Kled, Kale, and Timo. Nothing else, because you want to stack your interest as much as possible and reach 50 gold as fast as possible. Normally, by the end of stage 2, you should be level 4 with at least 50 gold. Because obviously you don't buy XP at all. So never buy XP. At stage 3-1, it will be your last turn where you'll be level 4 before naturally pushing level 5. So what you will do is roll from 50 gold to 30 gold to find as many Poppy, Kled, and Kale. Because your idea is at level 5, when you will be level 5 naturally, you get back to 50 gold, and each turn you will use the gold interest to refresh 1, 2, or 3 times your shop and buy the Poppy, the Kled, and the Kale that you find until you have Poppy 3 and Kale 3. Once you have found them, you push level 6 and you do exactly the same with Kled, because it's extremely important to find your Kled 3. At level 6, you can add Z to have 1 more Slayer, so your Kled is even stronger. Only when you have found Poppy 3, Kled 3, and Kale 3, you can start pushing level 7 and push level 8 to add more Slayers, such as Gwen at level 7 and Aatrox at level 8. As for the items, just make sure that Poppy has only 2 items, because she is going to be the Demacia's elite, so she will need to have 1 slot to have 1 more item for the Radiant item. And finally, Kled, you really want to have Quicksilver during the late game, because if you don't have this, you will spend the most of the time being CC'd, stunned, whatever, and will not do anything. As for Gwen, you put magic or offensive items, like Titan's Resolve for instance, and for Aatrox, you put maybe other defensive item if you find. And finally, the bonus comp, the last comp, is actually something you should not play all the time because you simply can't. But if you see the opportunity to play it, you should try, because it's actually fun. It's a good comp. It's 8 Void. So in case you don't know, 8 Void allows you to summon the Baron Nashor, which is an extremely powerful unit. But the problem is that there are only 7 Void units in the game. So it means that if you want to have 8 Void, you need to have a Void emblem, like it is shown here on top of Soraka. So what I advise you is that if you start the game and you somehow manage to get a Void emblem, you should actually consider this comp. If you don't have this, then maybe it's not that great to force it, because your comp will be significantly weaker. But anyway, you can still have pretty good games with 6 Void instead of 8. It's just that, you know, it's less fun. This comp is very easy to play. I already explained 3 times. It's with the strategy when you try to fast 8. you want to play with Void from the early game to late game. So during the early game, you use Kassadin, Cho'Gath, Rek'Sai, Malzahar, and Vel'Koz. So Kassadin will be your main tank. Kaisa will take the items from Bel'Veth until you find Bel'Veth, and Vel'Koz or Malzahar will take the items of Kaisa until you find Kaisa. And honestly, you just push level 4 at 2-1, you push level 5 at 2-5, you push level 6 at 3-2, you push level 7 at 4-1, and then after you push level 8 at 5-1 or 5-2 in order to have potentially Bel'Veth and Kaisa. Really straightforward, easy to play, especially if you have a Void Emblem. If you don't have a Void Emblem, this might be a bit more difficult for you to play. That's why I actually put this comp as a bonus, not necessarily a comp you want to play every game. I might be repeating myself, but these comps that I just presented are not the best comps if you want to climb Master, for instance, or even above. Rather, these comps will help you understanding TFT at deeper levels, and you'll be able to climb fast by understanding all the fundamentals of this game. However, if you feel like these comps are too easy for you, or if you already tried them and you want to have something more challenging to climb faster and higher, I suggest you to watch this video where I showed 15 different broken comps that you can play right now to rank fast. See you at the top of the ladder.